Hello YouTube, it's gopernoper, and today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the Minolta Srt 100 35mm SLR camera. I'm going to try to make this quick because this is about my 7th take, and all the other shots have just been far too long. I'll put my ratings down below in the comments. I'm not going to be talking much about features, just how I feel about the camera and my experiences using it. So, starting it off, I really like the lens system for this camera. As of right now, I have 6 lenses. Back when I shot this roll of film, I only had 5. And I have to say, I really like the feel of this camera. It's considered a downgraded SRT 101. I like the feel of the camera and how it works, but it is a bit lacking in features. It's comparable to comparable, whatever you want to use, to a K100, except that it has 2 sync sockets, an aperture preview switch, and a cold shoe instead of a hot shoe. I personally really like the metering system on this camera, not just the contrast light compensation, which is great, by the way. I really like the way the meter is set up in the viewfinder. I can't show you because it gets far too dark, but in terms of shutter speed range, this camera is a bit lacking compared to some other SLRs. Your shutter speed range covers 1/500th of a second up to 1 second. ASA range is suitable for most purposes, unless you're doing specialty photography. So I really like the build quality of this camera and lens system. I also have a 135 that I believe was specifically made for the SRT series, but I have a couple other lenses. I used every lens I had with that roll of film, including some shot with a 2x teleconverter, so that's why some of them are going to be from some unorthodox focal lengths. But I think that this camera is good for if you're a collector, like I am, well, collector and user. This is great to have in your collection because it's a really nice example of what was coming out at the time for amateur photographers. And this camera is really neat. It looks great, it works well, it's very well built. If you're going to be using this, I would suggest that this is a slightly upgraded student camera. So obviously it outreaches the Sears KS Super, and it definitely beats the K1000 in terms of features, but obviously shutter speed range for this one is lower than on the K1000. So it depends. Do you want slightly more features and what I would consider a better lens lineup, or would you prefer a higher shutter speed range? So, in terms of lenses, there's a really great selection. I love these lenses because they're super sharp, there's not a lot of vignetting, and they're extremely well built. I don't think I've seen a single Minolta lens that has ever been, non-functional. Also, this will take lenses from the XG1. I use this 135 instead of the actual SRT 105 because I didn't have the SRT 105 at the time, or 135, excuse me. 135 millimeters. But these lenses are great. Seriously, they're super sharp. They are very contrasty. They're really well made. And you can often get them for pretty cheap. This isn't the lens that came with my camera. This is the lens that came with my camera. So they're both the kit lenses. I just think this one might go to a different model. I paid $7 for this one. I paid $10 for this one. This one in the teleconverter was $7. And this one here came with my XG1, including the 45mm, for $2 at a yard sale. So, my suggestion is if you find one of these for anything less than $20, and I sort of overreached that, I paid $25 or so because it was in really good condition. But if you find one of these in good condition for less than $20, I'd say pick it up. It's a very fun camera to use, it's very well built, and it's a great addition to anyone's collection. Now, I have to talk about my favorite photo in the roll so I can get to showing you the rest of them. This is my favorite photo of the entire roll. I know you can't see much, but this was shot very early in the morning when the lake was still calm, and you can see it's like a sheet of glass. My dad is standing there fishing at the dock. I wouldn't say he's so much the subject of the photo, but I really like the way everything blends together in this one. Everything seems just so calm and slowed down, like you could spend as much time as you wanted here. I really like this one. I'm probably going to have this one framed, enlarged and framed. I do not know yet, though. I'm considering presenting it as a Christmas present, as like an extra sort of thing for my dad. So, that photo was taken with the JCPenney 28mm wide angle, which is, it's not the best lens ever, but it's the wide angle that I have, and it sure did really make a nice photo there. Gear isn't everything. It's just the focal length that matters to me. It's a 28mm lens, so I used it. I don't care who manufactured it or what f-stop range it has. So now I will put the score system down in the description of the video, and I'll talk about some other recommendations there if I have any. And without further ado, I present to you the photos taken with my Minolta Srt 100 system. The music in the background is a jazz cover of the song Peg by Steely Dan, a great, great song. I really like that one. But anyways, here it is.